Hi everyone, it's Weather for Weather Geeks time here on this Tuesday evening. First day of August here in 2017, and today was a pretty nice day once again, with a couple of exceptions. I'll show you a radar in just a second. First, let's do a little status check on summer. We did this somewhat last night as well. The summer season consisting of June, July, and August. Well, we're 2/3 of the way through, and we're running about 1.5 degrees above average. Not quite as warm as last year. Also wetter than average. Most of this, of course, was in June. July was not particularly wet. It was below average rainfall-wise at the Youngstown Warren Airport during the month of July, and especially late in the month in July. It was pretty dry across the region. All right, meteorological summer, June, July, and August. Here's a look at the normals, or the averages, I should say, as far as high temperatures go. As we go into the month of August, our average high today is 81. We'll lose 1 degree by mid-month and a couple of degrees by the end of the month. Of course, our averages drop at a much more rapid pace as we get into the month of September in meteorological autumn. All right, typically in August, that's when our water temperatures reach their peak. There's kind of a lag between when we have the most incoming solar radiation. That, of course, is in the middle of June as we head towards the solstice. And then in July, typically air temperatures are at their hottest on average. Our averages peak in July. Water temperatures, though, typically wait until the end of summer. The water tends to have a slower response than the air to the max in incoming solar radiation. All right, solar summer. This is another way in which we measure the seasons. Solar summer is the 3-month period in which we have the most daylight. That's going to come to an end here in a few days, and we'll get into what we call solar autumn. That would be the 3 months of the year in which we lose daylight at the fastest rate. That's between August 6th and about November 6th. That's the 3-month period in which we lose daylight faster than any other time of the year. So signs that the seasons are progressing, and we're starting to talk about high school football, and the Canfield Fair is around the corner. Already fair season. We had already had the Trumbull County Fair. This week's Columbiana. First day of school for a lot of districts will be coming up in a couple of weeks. So, it's that time of the year. All right, for the most part, today was a dry day, but we did have a couple of exceptions. There's a reason why we had a 10% chance of rain in your hourly forecast on the 21 Storm Tracker app today, because right around mid-afternoon, we had a couple of specks that popped up, and even a pretty healthy downpour right here, right over Hermitage at about 4:15 or so this afternoon. It rained pretty good for 10 or 15 minutes over the Hermitage area before that cell drifted north towards Sharpsville and kind of died out. There were a couple other random showers out there as well, but again, definitely the exception, not the rule. Most places got away with a dry and generally partly sunny day today. Dew point temperatures are still manageable for the middle of summer. Lower 60s, it's kind of muggy, but it certainly can be a lot worse at this time of the year. The really high dew point air is bottled up where you'd expect it to be, closer to the Gulf Coast, but certainly dew points will be on the rise here over the next few days. Let's head west briefly. Check out the heat in the west. One of the reasons why we haven't had a particularly hot summer here is the core of the heat has been centered over the west. 113 right in California, 107 in Medford this evening, Portland, Oregon. Someplace you don't think of as a real hot place. 96 degrees out there this afternoon and this evening. All right, big picture for the second day of August. Tomorrow, 14 hours, about 18 minutes worth of daylight. Sunset at about 8:38, sunrise 6:19. We're looking for another day in the mid-80s tomorrow, about 5 degrees above average. And notice, we reviewed the summer. Well, 2017 through the first 7 months of the year, the 5th wettest and the 5th warmest on record here in Youngstown. The chief reason we're in the top 5 as far as warmest was January and February, which were ridiculously warm compared to the average. April was also very warm compared to the average. All right, as we go into the day tomorrow, a subtle dew point increase, not much of a trigger out there for shower and thunderstorm activity, although this little boundary is going to try to slide in. So we've got a 30, 40, at the highest 60, but I think it's more like 30 or 40% chance of seeing some pop-up stuff as we get into the afternoon tomorrow. A higher chance than today, but not as high as later in the week. So our hour-by-hour rain chances, this is what I have for most of the region tomorrow, peaking at about 40% as we go into the mid to late afternoon on your Wednesday. All right, let's move forward then and talk about the end of the week, because this promises to be a little more active. Now, once again on Thursday, there is not much of a trigger to be found out there, but it'll be more humid Thursday. It'll be soupy. Temperatures lower 80s, dew points upper 60s. Not going to take much to set off a couple of showers and storms on Thursday, particularly in the afternoon. Could be a couple of downpours out there. This is Friday morning. Our cold front is off to the west. The timing on this front, pretty favorable for some stronger storms, I think, by Friday afternoon. We're going to have to be weather aware, I think, on Friday afternoon, early Friday evening. One of the things we watch out for is how much wind is upstairs in the atmosphere that could be pulled down in storms. This isn't real super impressive, but there's some gusty winds up there shown by the modeling late afternoon and evening. When you see these purple colors, that's up to 50 miles per hour or so, up at about the 5,000 foot level. And so there is some wind energy aloft that could get pulled down. So we'll see what the Storm Prediction Center does as far as their day 3 risk coming up tomorrow for Friday. I suspect a slight risk of severe weather is on the way from the Storm Prediction Center. All right, the next several days, really the first half of August, not particularly warm at all by August standards. Look at this stretch of cool weather starting this weekend and taking us into the first half of next week. Not only is it going to be below average, but there's no hint of any sort of sustained heat coming our way first half of August. If it's going to get hot in August, it'll probably be during the second half of the month. So, energy bills will be reduced. It's a big change from last August. Last August was really hot. The summer last year ended on a hot note in August and early September. And we could still have some heat waves later this August. But the first half of August, not looking too bad at all. Thanks for checking out tonight's weather for Weather Geeks. I'll see you tonight on 21 News at 11 o'clock. Have a great rest of your Tuesday night.